Okay. Now we can talk.
We're talking about concerts right now. Colin, what is the best concert you have ever been in your life? Been to in your whole
The
life?
Hans Zimmer 2 days ago was really high up there. It's taken the cake just because it's so fresh and new. It's, recency bias. But I would say the Eagles maybe 3 years ago was so freaking awesome, face melting, because they played all the hits. I just watched a 4-hour documentary on the Eagles like a couple months prior with you.
Yeah.
And so it was fresh, and I was just getting into them at like 32 or 33 for the first time. And then I saw the concert, and then I was like, okay.
Do you want to go to Las Vegas
Masterful.
next week and go watch
Are
them
they-
at the
they're there
Sphere?
next week?
They're playing at the Sphere until like mid-October.
How much are tickets going for?
I don't know. I haven't looked yet.
If I could have seen Hans Zimmer at the Sphere,
Yeah.
we saw him at Crypto, but if we saw him at the Sphere, I'm sure that would have been
I can't even imagine what that
an
would have been
audio
like.
visual.
The Hans Zimmer concert at Staples Center. I'm never going to call it Crypto. It's Staples Center. It it was a transcendent concert. It was mind-blowing. It was the biggest wall of sound I've ever heard. It was phenomenal. And he played every single song from every movie that I like. He played
Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Last Samurai, Lion
Gladiator,
King, Interstellar,
Last-
Inception,
Samurai,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Lion King, James Bond even.
That's cool.
Bond.
How about you, Sam? Best concert of your life?
Oh gosh. I would say it would have to be. You guys are gonna laugh, but Childish Gambino was the best concert I've ever been to.
I'm
but
laughing. I'm laughing.
But I do think that my favorite concert that I'm ever going to see thus far will be in November. I'm going to go see Mark Rebillet in concert, known as Loop Daddy, and Colin knows.
yeah.
Loop
Wait,
Daddy.
this is the first. You're talking about a concert in the future.
It's coming up.
You
and
think that a concert you're going to see is
will
your
be the
favorite?
best. Will be my favorite. Yes, I'm seeing
Loop Daddy.
in November. It's
I
gonna be
thought
epic.
the three of us going to the Naked and Famous in downtown LA.
That was
I
really
thought about
special.
that recently.
That was a special, intimate concert.
Mm-hmm. There was
Yeah.
like 100 people there.
It felt
at
like
most?
that.
Yeah, but we were
Very
like
small room.
up front,
Yeah.
right up against the stage,
Yeah.
listening, and it's some of my favorite music
for sure.
of the last like 10 years.
What year was that?
that? Was 2008, 17.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very of the time. I don't know. It was like some Dungeness club, mini club in downtown LA, and it felt
And then we ate every taco ever made
at this one taco truck. We kept going back for like
Kept
seconds
going
and
back.
and
thirds.
thirds.
It was amazing. It was just nonstop. How about you?
Best concert of all time would be. There's different kinds. There's the big venue concerts, and for that, I'd have to say John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl.
That was really good.
I also saw Beach Boys with Brian Wilson at the Hollywood Bowl.
That's special.
But the first time with John Williams, where my whole family was there, and he was playing, or the time you and I went, where Steven Spielberg was on stage with John Williams, watching E.T. while John Williams was playing.
Just comes down, puts down a chair, looks up at the screen.
That was incredible.
It was pretty special.
But as far as like the smaller venues, IMX. Yeah, nobody knows it. It's IMX, IAMX. I saw this concert at, I think it was a tiny little venue. I think it was actually the El Rey Club in central like Hollywood. This is like 2004, 2005. And it just blew my mind. It was incredible music, the best stage presence of any singer I've ever experienced. And I mean, I couldn't
IMX.
hear for days afterwards, but
That reminds me of
shockingly powerful concert.
That reminds me of the Batman. We were watching the Batman last night with Robert Pattinson and URL Rata Lata. URL Rata Lata, and they're like, no, it can't be L with Rata or Rata because that's a feminine word with the masculine, prefix. So Pattinson's like, no, it's URL. It's a website. URL. So it's just www.radalada.com. And I was like, this is so genius. Seeing that movie like for the fourth time,
greatest detective.
you learn so much
The music
more.
was great
Yeah, Gene Kino's musical score.
with some Kurt Cobain in there.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Which influenced a lot of the Gene Kino score. You could
Pretty
tell.
cool.
Yeah, it was.
What would you guys rate that in
And all the Batman.
all the Batman films? It's a really good movie.
The most recent
I liked
Batman.
it a lot more the second time watching it
too.
last night. But I know this is controversial. And it's going to upset some people.
Okay.
But for me, it's all about Batman Forever.
Wow. I don't hate that. It's
The
a
one with
really
Jim Carrey,
fun
the one
movie.
with Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face,
It's
Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I loved it because I was in high school
It's
when I
campy.
saw it.
It's campy.
Very
It was
campy.
campy, but not as campy as the
Batman
next one,
Robin.
which was a terrible movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But Batman Forever, it was like I was at the right place, right time. I saw it in Huntington Beach, and it was my first time being in Huntington Beach, like older, and so it was a cool experience. I was doing
Nicole
it, like,
Kidman was a babe.
she was beautiful, and I thought Val Kilmer to this day is still my favorite Batman. I know that's
Wow.
terrible,
That
but I
is-
loved that movie. I thought he was perfect.
If anybody decided to stop watching this or listening right now, I would understand.
I would understand
I would
too.
understand.
That's
and
That's
Val Kilmer
a
himself,
crazy opinion.
I think if you asked Val Kilmer what the worst movie that he ever participated in, it would probably be
yeah,
that
Batman
movie.
Forever.
Yeah, he said I think the two movies that he hated making were Batman and The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, because of the abuse he took from Marlon Brando.
Yeah. And on the set of Batman Forever, he was wearing the bat suit, but he couldn't like turn, he couldn't move.
It was a
extremely
muted performance.
Heavy and he's more of an actor's actor.
Yeah,
And so
that's a terrible opinion. It doesn't make any sense. But
I still think it's fun. It's such
It's a really fun.
movie.
It's a really fun movie. Saying he's the best Batman though, it makes
no,
no
no.
sense.
That's
Christian Bale is easily the best one.
blasphemy.
Yeah,
Christian Bale's the
Christian
best.
Bale for sure. I mean,
Well, I mean,
I gotta take
it's
back.
so hard to say that, right? Because Batman and Bruce Wayne are two different characters. So
Michael
are
Keaton
you
was
saying
a wonderful Batman.
like who is there one actor that embodies them best, but embodies both of those characters best, or is there one character that's a better actor that's a better Batman and one actor that's a better Bruce Wayne?
It's the whole Peter Parker Spider-Man thing. You know, people love Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker.
Yeah, it's
but,
the only Peter Parker that matters.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But then who was the best Spider-Man?
you know, people say Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that. I like that opinion because he is very true to the comics and his kind of teenage, his kind of
The writing and directing really works.
the funny, quippy Spider-Man. But as Parker, you're right. Like Toby just is so endearing and like relatable as a high school student. Feeling like you just want to, do what you can to get your crush to notice you, and she
sure.
doesn't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It was very relatable.
So Christian Bale, in my opinion, might be the best Batman, but Bruce Wayne, the best Bruce Wayne might be Robert Pattinson.
Oh man,
I know. I knew you were going to hate that.
Sam.
I know you were going to hate that.
No, it's the best Bruce Wayne is easily Christian Bale. The scene when he gets out of
in
the
the pool?
Lamborghini with the
Well,
three
he's such a good actor.
models.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was like-
Batman Begins. Is that Batman Begins?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Batman
Yeah.
Begins. In fact, I would say Batman Begins and Batman Forever were tied for first place for me.
We can't
I know.
discount Michael Keaton though.
He was all around phenomenal.
Michael Keaton though, coming off of those comedic roles and getting it, Batman 89, the first time a serious Batman was brought to film, and playing against type, being a funny guy and then suddenly doing this serious thing. It's always like the comedic actors that have what people claim to be like the widest range, if they can go from that to serious and be taken seriously as a serious actor. He just crushes it as Bruce Wayne. He's so fun, subtly funny, and then he can get crazy and small and big, all from scene to scene. Keaton,
It's amazing how you can have such a wide variety from Pattinson to Keaton.
but I think we're a little biased because the Nolan trilogy is such a polished film. It's polished filmmaking.
Yeah, it's perfection.
Tim Burton is a little bit more comic-y and campy.
Yeah, it's
and
campy.
So you're going to take the guy in the Nolan universe a little bit more seriously, I would imagine, than you would a Keaton one in that universe. So I'm just saying, maybe I'm guessing from someone watching them from the first time right now, but we have biases because we grew up with some and others came out when we were loving, film so much in 2005, 8, 12 with the Nolan trilogy. But I don't know. This isn't a Batman podcast.
No, this wasn't a Batman podcast, but it
is
just
now.
jumped in my head real quick. Favorite James Bond actor?
Actor?
Yeah, who played Bond best? As you see, we have movie posters up here. In fact, we're going to get to that in a second.
It's going to be Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill will be the best James
Again,
Bond.
another future best.
Wow, Sam, all your favorite things are in the future.
They're coming. They're coming. I mean, it's hard not to say Daniel Craig. It's hard not to say. I mean, people didn't like Pierce Brosnan. I thought he was a phenomenal Bond.
Pierce Brosnan was awesome.
He was really, really
Best
good.
Bond ever. See, another. This is again with George Lazenby.
Oh, man.
He was perfect.
Oh, he wasn't.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a perfect Bond movie in every possible way. It's my favorite James Bond movie. Followed very closely by Tomorrow Never Dies,
Oh, okay.
and that was Pierce Brosnan. So he'd be my second favorite, then Sean Connery.
Sean Connery was so good. He was classic. I mean, he's the pioneer, right?
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Colin?
I mean, it's hard for me. I know the Batman lore much better. So, but with the Bond stuff, it's like it's what I was saying earlier about the filmmaking. The filmmaking of the later films is so much better.
Yes.
So you're kind of forced into believing that maybe the actor's better. I mean, except for Quantum of Solace, which is trash, but I think that Skyfall is the best.
No Time to Die was terrible.
No Time to Die was trash, but Skyfall was the best, and I thought Daniel Craig was the best in it.
And what was crazy about No Time to Die, tying back to Hans Zimmer, is he did the soundtrack from that, and that really surprised me.
That
at
was
the
the
concert,
encore
when
at the
all of a
concert.
sudden at the encore they did this whole James Bond thing. I was like, why is Hans Zimmer kind of taking credit of a James Bond thing? I was very confused.
Well, he wrote it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was shocked. But
He
I
wrote
mean,
that
not
version.
the original themes,
Yes.
right? So all the is it Henry Mancini? I can't
I'm
remember
not
who
sure.
did the original themes, but he did like a take on all of them, and it was just phenomenal,
Beautiful.
But this is such a cool thing. So since we're at Mint headquarters here in Huntington Beach, I thought it would be fun for Colin, Sam, and I to put up one poster of our favorite movies behind us, and so these are our three favorite movies. Colin, why did you select Back to the Future as your favorite movie?
It's the movie I've seen more than any other movie. It's the perfect movie. It is a fantasy that I've also had, which would be to go back in time and hang out with my parents as teenagers when I was a teenager or a young adult, because I think that we would all.
Yeah, your parents are very cool. They'd
Get
be fun
along.
they would have been fun to hang out with back in the day.
I think we would have gotten ourselves into trouble altogether, because I feel like I have that relationship with them now, and it's just so happens that they're in their early 70s. But if they were, in their 18, 19, doing it with me, it would have been awesome. Anyways, it's a fantasy film. I mean, I love the sci-fi. I love anything time travel.
Yeah, Colin loves Back to the Future. Cannot emphasize that enough.
I mean, we have
Two of the coffee table books are both Back to the Future
right.
themed.
We have the Sports Almanac from 1950 to 2000, all the scores of all the sports
Great
that are
sports
relevant
almanac.
sports games that Biff bets on and becomes a wealthy kind of Donald Trump-esque figure in the sequel, in the second movie. So I love this movie. It's my favorite. The third movie is my second favorite, and then the second movie is my third favorite.
What about you, Sam? Why did you pick Jurassic Park?
Why did I pick Jurassic
JP.
Park? Well,
Aside from the fact,
well, my mom, when she was pregnant with me in 1993, she fell asleep in the theater front row
while watching the original Jurassic Park.
And so my mom joked that I watched the movie
While she was asleep.
So
Through a layer of skin.
Through a layer of skin. Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time because, it was one of the first movies that my family owned, and so we had the VHS that we popped in. So I watched it a bunch of times, but it's a movie that changed cinema forever. It is one of the most iconic movies of all time.
Visual effects.
Visual effects. It stands greater than most movies today in terms of visual effects.
Yeah, it's
an
amazing how its visual effects are better than most
Stood up.
things today.
That's-
It is.
stands up.
It is crazy. I mean, all three of the. I know we're gonna get to your movie,
Yeah.
Braveheart, but like all three of these movies, I feel like cinema is trying to get back to hit this type of quality.
good
We've
point.
lost that quality, and we're trying to.
Don't you? Yeah, I
find our way
wish
back
movies were
there.
made that were like these.
Yeah, because like I don't know. I wonder what movies people.
Even that movie poster, man, that Jurassic Park poster was just ahead of its time. It's
Yeah.
so minimalist, but everyone knows what it is. It's
It's true.
completely identifiable.
Yeah,
And what a great tagline. An adventure 65 million years in the making.
exactly. And who doesn't like dinosaurs? I mean, dinosaurs are so cool.
Yeah. And I selected Braveheart. Braveheart, in my opinion, greatest movie of all time. A very close second would be Last of the Mohicans, but Braveheart was like a game-changing movie for me. I remember I saw it when I was 16. And I heard the soundtrack before I'd seen the movie, and I remember thinking it was beautiful. It was James Horner. And it's just very ethereal and using the kind of bagpipes. And when I saw the movie, it actually deeply impacted me when the main characters, Mel Gibson's wife is killed, it just shocked me. I just couldn't get over it. And the ending when he dies, couldn't get
Spoiler
over
alert.
it. Yes, sorry. Like, and if you haven't watched Braveheart by now, that's your bad. And it's still to this day, I'm shocked that I thought, okay, I'm going to watch it a few more. Every few years I watch it, and I keep expecting to just not like it anymore. And yeah, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies with it. It's just littered with historical inaccuracies.
But it is based off a true story.
Yeah, it's
though.
based off a true story, based off a true person.
William
and
Wallace.
Scotland still really cares about him. But it's just perfectly, beautifully constructed, made, and it holds up incredibly well. Like, I'll go and watch all these movies from 2023, 2024, not be moved by any of them. Then I'll go and put that on, and instantly it's goosebumps and just warm
I
feelings.
love it when a
and
movie can do that. And we all
transforms.
have 25 to 50 films that can do that for ourselves individually, you
Yeah.
know, but, and I'm sure there's tons of crossover there too, but as far as like the top three,
Those would be it.
Yeah,
So it's really cool that we, the three of us have our three favorite movies here at Mint headquarters on the wall, which I think is pretty cool.
No, it's really cool. And I wonder what people think would be the best one out of all these ones.
I'd like to know what everybody's favorite movies are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What would you put on the wall
Yeah.
if you were watching this? I mean, at your place, do you have movie posters on the wall? I've been thinking about doing this for a while.
but what's the ranking for these three?
Yeah. No,
Is what I wanna know.
No, it's true.
I mean, I do know, but I just am curious what you might think.
Yeah.
They're so different though. I mean, these are a lot more similar to each other than that one.
Yeah.
This
but
is a historical based on true story,
This is historical too.
time that's a period piece.
I
guess that
could
is
do this.
historical,
I
too.
could sit down and watch all three of these
This
back
is
to back.
historical too.
That's
Time
a great
travel
day.
history. I know, back to back to back for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Back to back to back.
Yeah,
Maybe we
these
should
are
do that as a
all
challenge someday.
True stories.
They're all true.
No, you've been to Stirling though, to William Wallace Tower,
Yeah, you were just at Sterling. What,
like a month ago.
a month
or so.
ago?
Yeah.
You were where that scene is filmed.
Is that
with
where they
the
make
guy on
silver?
horseback, where they're having the giant battle, the Battle of Stirling? Sam was just there a month ago.
Yeah,
It's
it
pretty
was-
crazy.
Yeah, it's my second time there to that tower.
They make like really good forks and knives, right?
Very, very good cutlery.
That's funny.
Very,
That's funny.
very good.
No, I actually own some land in Scotland.
You do. You
much?
are
Technically,
a
I'm a laird
laird
of the land. Yeah.
of the land.
No, it's one of the coolest gifts I ever was given. This is like 10 years ago. My brother and his wife, for my birthday, bought me 2 parcels of land in Scotland. I know exactly where they are, and I want to go visit my land.
Whereabouts in Scotland?
Kind of northwest, in a little forest, like way up, high up north.
Is it big enough where
west.
you can stand on it?
Yeah, no, you can. It's about, I think it's 2 feet by 2 feet.
Wow.
So I'm going to go check it out, make sure people are treating my land with respect. And yeah, it was
cool.
one of the coolest things. They send you out this whole booklet about your land, and it's in an area called Glencoe. And
Glencova?
no, Glencoe.
Glencoe. Okay.
Yeah, so I got to go check out my land.
Yeah, you have to. Have you been to Scotland, Colin?
Lake District in England, but
Close.
not over the border to Scotland.
Gotta make that
unfortunately.
trip.
Well,
Gotta
that's
make
what we're
that trip.
hoping
It's
to do with
beautiful.
Mint. Probably next year or the year after is we're going to go and do a tour of English and Scottish and Irish soccer / football stadiums, and go film some content, go open some packs.
Be a lot of fun.
Tony just got back from Germany, and he spent for work, and then he spent a weekend or a 4-day weekend in London. And he grew up. He's Italian. He grew up a lot of years in Italy, and he's like, London surpasses everything in Italy. He goes, London is the best.
Really?
He goes, I want to move there right now.
Wow.
I want to do a year there in London.
Wow.
It's so inspiring and energetic. I don't know. And I was like, yeah, I haven't been there in 10 years. I would love to go back too. I said, you go there. I'll be there. Like,
Matter of time. We
Every
just
month.
need to go out
If I
and
can.
Yeah, it's
go
true.
there.
And to clarify, Tony being your really good friend from West Hollywood.
yeah. Cool. That Tony. Yes. that
Anyways,
Yeah.
apparently today turned into a movie music.
Cinema.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Last night we just got into the movie bug, and we've
Watched
been
movies
watching
and-
movies, going to concerts. It's been great. It's been a great weekend.
But
Yeah.
don't you love it when you watch a movie for let's say the 4th time or the 15th time or the 80th time, and then you're like, oh, I never noticed that detail before.
Every time. Every time
you
I
learn
see a
something
movie, I
new.
s-
People have to criticize. Oh, you've already seen it before, but I've never seen it before as this version of myself now, through these eyes right now.
And everyone's wondering, well, aren't you guys busy with
It's a
Mint?
different experience.
Aren't you guys working on cases and displays all day? Right now, we're in the game of hurry up and wait. We're doing everything with manufacturing right now. And so there's a
Preparatory
lot
work.
of waiting for manufacturing shipments to arrive. We're waiting on a couple shipments next week.
Setting up sales channels.
There's a lot of prep work and a lot of marketing and behind the scenes and deal making. And so
Strategizing.
it's really hurry up and wait for what we're doing at Mint. So we got massive momentum, super excited about everything that's coming.
Yep.
We're just waiting on other individuals and other companies to get us what we need.
Which gives us a lot of time to talk about movies. So we have we have 3 of our favorite movies of all time. What would be the worst movie of all time in your opinion that you've watched?
Jeez, man.
I got mine. I can start. I can
The
kick
worst
it off.
movie you've ever seen?
I've ever
Ever
seen.
seen.
Madam
Like,
Web.
Madam
Madam
Web?
Web was the worst movie
Okay,
I've ever
so
seen.
this is the best story though of all time.
Is it? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
So Sam and I, we had a bet one day.
Yep.
Sam lost the bet, and we had already ahead of time with the bet determined that whoever lost had to go to the cinema and go watch Madam Web by themselves.
But it wasn't just going to the cinema and watching it by yourself. It was on Valentine's Day. and so I lost the bet. And
What was the bet?
The bet, it wasn't okay. We say bet, but we have this.
It was kind of a
game.
bet. It was a game we were playing
It was weird. It was a weird game. We Brian got this giant dice
from Marriott Hotels.
Marriott Hotels as a gift from Marriott Hotels, and we just like let's roll. And you get 3 numbers, I get 3 numbers. If it hits one of our numbers, we have to do the bet. The
Yeah, in this
consequence.
case, and we did best 2 out of 3.
We did.
And the one person that won had to pay for it, and the other person had to go to the theater
Yeah.
and watch the movie on Valentine's Day by
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, and so I lost.
So
and
Sam lost.
So but you had to pay for the ticket?
Yeah, so I bought the ticket for
so
him.
it was worth the entertainment for you.
Oh no,
I
I
guess.
laughed my head off.
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was one of the funniest things of my life. I was dying when
Yeah.
he realized, because I think you had won like one of the rolls. The first roll you had won, and then you lost the next 2.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, Sam's packing up his stuff, and he's driving to the movie theater by himself
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day
Yeah.
to go watch Madam Web.
Madam Web, and I was by myself. I got myself my popcorn and I think I have peanut M&Ms and a soda. And I walk into the theater, and I'm a little bit late to the theater.
Yeah.
And so I walk in while the movie started, and I sit down, and the movie ends about 45 minutes in, and I'm like, what? That was a really short movie. Then I realized it was in the wrong theater. And so I had to go. I felt bad. I felt like I cheated the
I
bet.
still think you have cheated the bet.
Listen,
I think you need to
Listen.
watch Madam Web
I
from
think
the
I did.
beginning.
Which I have
On the big screen.
I have
By
watched
yourself.
it again because of this whole thing. So I went to the wrong theater, and I watched the second half of Madam Web
Again.
at another theater, and so I did
So you
that
watched
twice.
the second half of Madam Web twice.
It was torture, and I felt like I needed to do it to fulfill the bet.
Yeah, but you still haven't seen the first half, have you?
No, I have. I've watched it on the big screen, and it got worse. It was better watching the second half twice than actually watching the full thing through. It was one of the worst
So that
movies
was the
I've
worst
that's pretty
movie
bad.
of all
Yeah,
time.
Madam Web's atrocious. How about you, Colin? What's the worst movie you have ever seen?
It just popped in my head in the last 10 seconds.
yeah.
And it's a really deep cut.
Oh,
Superman 4, A Quest for Peace.
I don't think I've seen it.
Do you hear that? What is
That
that?
is a police officer.
Oh, police
That's,
officer, but
that's the police on an intercom speaking to someone on the street.
Oh, okay. Not important. No, really short note. Superman 4, Quest for Peace. It was the last movie with Christopher Reeve as Superman. And just when you talk about like a contrast between the first one he did in 77, when, you believed a man could fly, was the tagline, to this pile of trash in the mid to late 80s, I think, Quest for Peace, where obviously they lost, I don't know, the funding. I don't know what happened, but it's night and day between the first and the fourth one, and it's sad that he had to go out like that as Superman.
I've walked out of several movies in my life at this point, and I mean, not very often, but like probably I've walked out of 4 movies. And to bring it full circle, I remember watching Batman and Robin. So see what we did back to the beginning is Batman and Robin was the worst movie ever. It was so bad.
Is that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, it's the one with.
Nah, man, that's one of the best. That's with the bad
Poison
card,
Ivy,
right?
yeah.
With the bad card.
Yeah.
Never leave the cape without it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
It's
one.
because
best line.
they made the toys first, and then they had to make the movie based on the
so
toys.
Is that true?
No, but I
Oh,
would have to really think about it for a while to think of what movies are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, I like focusing on these things, the best
sure.
movies.
For sure.
But would love to hear what everybody's favorite movie is and favorite Bond and favorite Batman is
Yeah,
and favorite
why.
Spider-Man. Yeah, and why.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, for sure.
and why.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a great day.